a parable. What is a parable? A parable is an earthly story that is articulating a heaven reality. A heavenly reality. He's telling you something that you can't understand so that you somehow comprehend something that you could never understand. And every time he spoke to the crowd, he was always telling a parable, a story. The word parable, para, actually means to come alongside. So he would use a story to come alongside this heavenly principle that he was trying to get in your head. And every time he spoke, every time, story. And he would always end the story with, "He who has an ear, let him hear." Can you imagine if every time I preached, I just told you a story? And then just ended it with, "He who has an ear, let him hear." I'm curious to think whether we would actually like Jesus preaching if he showed up. Because every time he preached to the crowd, story, closing, "He who has an ear, let him hear." I'm going to really bring this text to life to you today. And I want to tell you a story. This is what it would be like to hear Jesus preach. Can I tell you a story? Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a bird that was flying and got caught in the middle of a snowstorm. And this bird got caught in a snowstorm. All of a sudden, the snow fell on this little bird's wings. It melted quickly and then froze, causing this little bitty bird to plummet from the sky down into an open field. The bird sat there, shivering, freezing, encased in ice, thinking, "This is it. This is how I'm going out. I'm going to die." Right in that moment, a cow that was in the field wandered over to where the bird was and made a deposit of manure on this frozen bird. Immediately, the bird was like, "Are you serious? I was already going to die of cold and being frozen, and now I got to deal with this manure on me." But the manure had warmth, and slowly the warmth began to thaw out its frozen wings. As it began to thaw out its frozen wings, all of a sudden, the bird began to feel its wings again. It started getting excited because it knew its impending freedom was there. It started chirping, chirp, 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 chirp. It started praising, chirp, chirp, chirp. In fact, it was a bird, so it started tweeting, tweet, 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 tweet. However, in the middle of the tweeting, in the middle of the chirping, all of a sudden, a cat in the field, drawn by the chirping and the tweeting, went all the way up to the bird, dug it out of the manure, and ate it. He who has an ear, let him hear. God bless you. It's been so good. That's what it was like to hear Jesus preach. He would hit you with the story. No worship team, no altar call. He who has an ear, let him hear. Can you imagine if I ended the night just like that? What would you do? Most of y'all be like, "Well, all right, I guess that was it. Raising Cane's, Taco Bell, where y'all trying to go?" Stay with me. But imagine with me tonight, if there was just one of you, that story, you could not get it out of your head. Everybody else went out to eat, but just one. Let me just pick a person right here, Manny, Pastor Manny. He's like, y'all go eat at Taco Bell. I got to figure out, what is that story about? What? Wait, the snowstorm with a bird, the cow and the manure, the cat. I got to find out what it is. Manny is obsessed with finding out the answer. The rest of y'all went out to eat. Manny is so obsessed. He says, I got to get to Pastor Robert. I got to find out. But he doesn't know where I live. So he starts calling people. "Do you know where Pastor Robert lives? Do you know where I got to find out about this story. I cannot sleep. I got to figure out the story. He's calling people to find out where I live, but nobody knows where I live. He finally, after calling a whole bunch of people, finds out where I live. And somebody tells him my address. He finds the address, gets in his car, is driving there, but on the way there, his car breaks down. He didn't put no gas in it. He's like, oh my goodness, I gotta go home. No, I gotta know what that story is about. So he calls an Uber, gets an Uber all the way to my house. But when he gets to my house, ding dong, I'm not there. And he's just outside the front of my house going, I ain't leaving. I ain't leaving till he comes back home. I tell you, I'm not leaving. I got to find out about that story. I'm not leaving. He gets indignant about it. I ain't leaving. The problem with standing in front of somebody's house and showing up unannounced saying I ain't leaving, that's loitering. So all of a sudden, one of my neighbors calls the popo, and the popo come, and they take Manny to jail right as I'm pulling back into the house. And Manny goes, hold on, there he is. He knows me. And the officer's like, we're about to take him to jail. Do you know him? I say, officer, I have no idea what you're talking about. I ain't never seen him in my life. I'm like, no, I'm playing. Come back in. Manny comes in the house. Come on in the house, Manny. Come up here. Manny comes in. His car has broken down. He had to get an Uber. He got arrested. Almost got a record. And now, he's in my house. He's going, Pastor Rob, I got to know about that story. Tell me about the bird, the manure, the cow, the cat eats it. I said, oh, Manny, you still on that story? Oh, it's easy. 3 lessons you got to learn out of that story, Pastor Manny. Number 1, not everybody that drops manure on you is your enemy. Lesson number 2, not everyone that pulls you out of manure is your friend. Lesson number 3, and the most important, when you're in manure, keep your mouth shut, and you better not tweet anything. That's the lesson.